everybody. Welcome to Fantasy Q&A on this Tuesday. Patrick Claybon here with Adam Rank. We're answering all your questions today. Rank, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I didn't realize the entire world now gets the entire week of Thanksgiving up, except for us, but everybody else, and it's caused a little bit of chaos here.
Well, just a tiny bit of chaos, but a big part of that chaos, aside from me figuring out which camera to look at this moment, is the fact that we're nearing the fantasy playoffs. The trade deadline in most .com leagues is coming up on Friday, so people have to be ready, and so many people are ready, Rank, that they're sending us questions so that they can get ready. So let's get started right now with Milan. Shout out from America, Milan. Should we be worried about Lamar? Here we go again, Rank.
Oh no, we're not playing this game. We're not going to get into this thing where something's wrong with Lamar Jackson. He's an excellent player. There's no problems. These things happen. And when you look at the Ravens' schedule down the stretch, they have the best strength of schedule to the point that I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm sorry to throw in a little real football, I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens somehow end up as the number one seed this season. So you're fine. We're not worried about Lamar.
Nope. Zero worry, 100%. You can worry about the rest of the team. You can worry about the fact that Demarcus Robinson is having to be like wide receiver 1,000 right now, but don't worry about number 8. Next question comes from Purple Lungs. Get that checked out. Oh, he buys stuff. Do I keep Zeke on the bench? He says.
You know, he still scored 17 points last week, even though Tony Pollard was scoring seemingly at will. The only issue I have is this week against the New York Giants comes on a short week. So if you have a player who's coming off an injury and they're playing on that short week, I feel like his volume could be affected a little bit, that they might lean on Tony Pollard a little bit more. So I think in theory, you could bench him, but without seeing your full roster. Like if you're playing Ray McLeod over him, I'd be like, no, don't do that. You're starting Kyle Juszczyk, like, no, you can start Zeke. But I think that there's a philosophical reason why you could sit him.
But why? Like, it's so hard to find running backs right now. And Zeke's getting goal line carries. Like, why? I understand it's frustrating to see Tony Pollard score all the points, but you're still getting points. Yes, everything's going to be right, other than maybe some investment decisions. This one comes from Matt. Josh Palmer for real going forward.
It really feels that way. Now, I get the benefit of talking with Chase Daniel after most Monday night games, and we were talking about this Chargers team, and they've been really impressed with the way he's stepped up over the last couple of weeks. Now, the touchdown that he scores right here, this is a route intended for Mike Williams. That ball would not have gone to him if Mike Williams was on the field, so you might want to take that into a little bit of consideration. But at the same time, they've been impressed with how well he's been playing recently and stepping up for these injured Chargers wide receivers. So I think he's for real, but I think if, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen ever get completely healthy, then it's a different issue. That's the touchdown with now. No, that was the other one. No, we're good.
Yeah, no, it all works out. And yes, Josh Palmer exists. He is not ethereal. He is for real. He continues to maintain his status. Sports news, is Najee back?
I don't know. Like I was overseeing another league, and there was a trade where somebody was hyper to acquire Najee Harris, and I'm like, are we sure we're going to do this? This wasn't a 1 week blip, and of course, this week against the Indianapolis Colts, it's not necessarily a bad matchup, but it's not one that you would absolutely take advantage of. But we did like the way that he was running. I know that Jalen Warden was starting to get on his heels, but what we like to see was stuff like that right there, where there were dump offs to him. One of the reasons he was so effective last year was that they were using him more extensively in the passing game. But I think that, now that Chase Claypool's gone, there could be more opportunity for him in the passing game. So I'm of the mind that he's going to be good for you.
Yes, there it is. I was ready to disagree, but you came back around. I think Najee's back.
I scared you for a bit, but then I rallied.
But as you always do, the moral arc of Adam Rank bends towards truth constantly. Next question comes from Alessandro. How much do we believe in Perrine as RB2 or flex?
No, I think that he's fine. I think that, as long as the RB1 in that team is in the concussion protocol and maybe won't even be playing, I think that there's some real value right there. The Bengals really trust him. Remember last year on their final drive in the Super Bowl, for some reason, Samaje Perine was in the game and not their other running back. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't think that he's as talented as their starter, but I think that, given the opportunity, they showed, I was throwing him the passes. They showed that they do believe him. But you know what? I think, honestly, he could be a flex option for you this week. Even if Mixon does return, I think he's still got some appeal for you.
And for those who don't remember, actor Michael Ealy's super memorable draft call when Samaje Perine was drafted, he called him Samaje Perine, and he was so excited about it. Thanks for the question, excited. Alessandro. Next question will be coming up after we come back. We're going to rip through some more of those, plus talking about some trade targets before Friday. Stick around, more Q&A on the way. Your game on the go wherever you are. This is How You Football. With NFL Plus, you can watch live, local, and primetime games on mobile and listen to live game audio now through Super Bowl 57. Sign up for the rest of the season with a special offer of $19.99. Rank, it's that time of the week. It's time for us to prepare for rapid fire. We're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can. Right now, the first question comes up from Jay Strobel 4, and he wants to know, who would you rather have on your team going forward, Deontay or George Pickens?
Feels like George Pickens is the preferred receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, next question goes to Olivia Zadik. I'm sorry, Olivia. Drake or Damian Harris for running back?
You know what? I still believe in Kenyon Drake. I know that I'm concerned for him. They didn't do very well against the Carolina Panthers, but I think Kenyon Drake has proven to me that he is going to be the long-term answer.
All right, this next question comes from Fredo Jr. Sorry about that. Is Jameson Williams worth a pickup?
Depending, I don't know. I mean, if you have roster space, but it's hard to trust a guy who hasn't played football all year stepping up in his rookie season and immediately contributing. So I'm a little apprehensive about it, but why not? Give it a shot.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the fictional character isn't your actual father. No. Chicago Bears fan, there's one of you, right? Pollard must start from now on, no matter Zeke's status?
I would think so. I think that for the longest time, Tony Pollard has been seen as the more explosive running back, and now the Cowboys are starting to get into that as well.
And it's not just that he's more explosive than Zeke. He's more explosive than almost anybody. Next question coming from our dear friend David. Can I start Amari Cooper on the road?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know why people have been benching Amari Cooper. Why was he ever a sit ever in any situation? He's always been a start for me. So, yes, you can start him on the road.
People believe the actual stadiums are causing this home road thing. Brandon says, I lost Cooper Kupp, Mecole Hardman, and Kadarius Toney. Any advice who to pick up?
No, you're screwed. Your season's over. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think, is out there. We do have, I think Sky Moore is worth looking into as well. So, yeah, you've got some issues. I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, that's a sad drop-off to come from Cooper Kupp to that. Start Fournette or White going forward?
Until we see it consistently from Rachaad White, I'm going to probably lean towards Leonard Fournette if you have both of them. But I think that, if you're in a bad situation where you need a flex starter, I think Rachaad White is worth taking a gamble on.
Yeah, it depends on how much you think the Bucs are going to be passing, to me. If you feel like there's more pass, then Lenny is still exceedingly viable. As long as Tom's comfortable, then that's who Leftwich and company and that they're going to have with Tom. So that's rapid fire. We're looking ahead to Friday, November 25th, which besides from being my 39th birthday, it's the trade deadline. So it's time for some trade or fade, Rank. We're going to consider what we're going to do with some top stars. This first one is Ahmad-Ra St. Brown, fantasy hero last year, but Jameson Williams could be back, maybe eating into those targets. Trade or fade?
I'm going to say trade. I still think that he's one of the best running backs, one of the best wide receivers in all of fantasy football. And if Williamson does start playing effectively, I think this could actually benefit Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I don't know. I'm not one to get rid of good players, so I'm going to hold on to them.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got him on your team. Keep him. Makes sense to me. Speaking of good players, Alvin Kamara went nuclear back in Week 8. Since then, he has had 9, 7, and 12-point games, Rank. What are we doing with Alvin Kamara, who also has a bye in Week 14?
I know. That's one guy. But again, we talked about it before. Like, who are you getting? Who are you replacing Alvin Kamara with? And understand, the person you're trading with also knows that Alvin Kamara has been struggling. So I don't know how you're upgrading, how you're getting rid of him, unless you're doing some sort of 2-for-1 deal where if you have a really good football team and you're like, oh, my team's set, my RB1 is Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara is my number 2. And if you were going to make a deal and kind of like try to send a 2 or a 3-for-1 to get an elite level player, then I think that's a move you can make. But I think one-on-one, there's really no upgrade there.
Eric, you want a fact about Devin Singletary?
I do.
He has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. The 8 weeks before that, he only had 1 touchdown.
So wait a minute. Let me see if I get this correct.
Okay.
Over the last 2 weeks,
yep,
Devin Singletary, 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But in the previous 8 weeks, he had 1 touchdown.
That's a fact, Rank. Are we trading or fading him?
You know what? I'm really concerned by the emergence of James Cook. We've seen James Cook steadily on the rise, but the one thing is the touchdowns are going to Devin Singletary. So until I see that situation change, I'm going to say that Devin Singletary is somebody I'm going to hold on to. I'm going to ride it out, and I think they're just going to have to run the ball more. I think that Josh Allen, his arm is not healthy. I think when Josh Allen loses in the first round of the Miami Dolphins, the next day they're going to announce that he's going in for surgery. So, you know what? I think they're going to have to run the ball. So hold on to Devin Singletary.
Yeah, and I know Bills fans would hate the loss part more, but the idea that we would be losing the long-term capability of Josh Allen for the sake of the rest of this season, if that is the case, that's the worst case scenario for us football fans who aren't Bills fans, because we just want to see the guy healthy. This staff has so many people from Carolina. We had a transcendent football player in Carolina that they brutalized due to injuries. We want more Josh Allen. That's I just got to get on my soapbox with that. If he needs surgery, have it right now. Have it today.
Do it.
Anyway, Miles Sanders is on a really good offense. He was really good. Back-to-back games with just 5 fantasy points. What are we doing? Trading for him or are we fading him?
You know what? I think that on Monday's NFL Fantasy Live, you were talking about Miles Sanders. And as I was tipping my chair, getting ready to panic, you advised me not to. So I will heed your words. And I'm definitely not going to panic. I'm going to hold on to him. Listen, I listen to you a lot. And I value your input. And so I agree with you, though. I think that this Eagles team is, excellent, obviously. They're so good on the offensive line. I know they have a lot of mouths to feed, so to speak. But at the same time, I still believe in Miles Sanders, even though he duped us in the preseason, in the run-up to the year. But that's okay. All is forgiven, and we're going to continue to ride with Miles Sanders. And honestly, I would love to see this happen, and I know it won't, Patrick. How about we just go ahead and cancel the NFC playoffs, and we will have the 49ers and Eagles play a best of 3. Like they will just play 3 weeks, and then that'll be it. That's how we determine the NFC champion, because the rest of the teams, we've seen enough. We're good. Let's just move on.
I mean, you say that, but then there's the superposition of the Minnesota Vikings. Like, I don't know. I don't. Tom Brady is coming back to ruin all our dreams. I don't know, Rick. I would like the 3-game series, though. Let's just do that the rest of the way with everybody. Have some weeks off in between. Sounds fun.
Would love it
to me. Coming up, is Isaiah Pacheco the real deal? Do we believe? Is it time for you? Everybody else has been grabbing him. Should you be going in to get Odell Beckham Jr. right now? Those answers to those questions coming up on Q&A. Get your Thanksgiving day started with NFL Game Day Morning, Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Rich, Mooch, Kurt, Michael, Cynthia, and Rachel get you set for a Turkey Day tripleheader plus a special tribute to John Madden as the NFL celebrates his legacy on a day synonymous with football, food, and family. Back here on Fantasy Q&A with Adam Rank, who also appreciates the contributions of John Madden, not just to football, but television and American culture and video games and everything. Shout out to the dude. We appreciate you. And on behalf of John Madden, I'll say it here because me and Rank aren't going to be here Friday. Let's answer some more fantasy questions. This one comes from Garrett. Is it time to grab and stash OBJ? Other people did it way too early. Should Garrett do it now, Rank?
I mean, if he's available, these are the kind of moves that you can make right now. Like, you know who your starters are. You have bench depth, but at the same time, going into the fantasy playoffs, you know who your starters are. And while it's too early and all that stuff, this is why I would rather go with OBJ over Jameson Williams, is that we've seen OBJ play very well on the NFL level. Jameson is a wild card. Everybody wants something new. They're like, what could be in the box? Like, Jameson Williams could be an OBJ type player. Like, or we could just pick up OBJ. Like, that, I don't know. That's kind of who I would go with. So I don't know if I'm wrong. I hope I didn't, upset you with that comment.
You didn't upset me. I think they could both be good. I want Odell back. The only thing that was slightly perturbing was the stat about Odell's receiving touchdowns per year on the screen, because I feel like there's a giant Baker Mayfield-sized asterisk, because not only did he undermine him, but he literally tore his ACL trying to make a tackle on a Baker Mayfield interception, which is why all these injuries started in the first place, because Baker is not very good, and we keep seeing that over and over again. This next one comes from Michael. Is Isaiah Pacheco for real or nah? My season depends on it, right? His season depends on your answer.
Season depends on this. We had not been very enthusiastic about the Chiefs running back situation, but, CEH has been injured, so that means there could be more opportunities. And Isaiah Pacheco did run for over 100 yards against the LA Chargers on Sunday night. But it's because it was the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers have allowed the fourth most fantasy points to running backs over the last 4 weeks. So consider the matchup like that. But as a pure volume guy on a pretty good offense, I would say, I think it's worth it. I think he could do it. Again, I'm not starting him over CMC. I'm not starting him over Austin Eckler. But if your choices are playing Zach Moss there or Kyle Juszczyk, then I think, you've got a pretty good opportunity there.
And Michael, take note of the fact that Rank is saying that despite seeing Isaiah Pacheco almost run into the arms of Matt Nagy twice on the sidelines during those highlights there. And that's some memories. This next one comes from Alessandro Foreman. Thoughts?
You know what? I still like Deontay Foreman. I know that he didn't play very well this weekend, and, it was a little bit of a disappointment. But at the same time, I think as a volume play, they have to run the football to be effective. So I'm still into it. And, again, we're at slim pickings right now. If you've been playing Deontay Foreman, geez Louise, I'll get it together. If you've been playing him the last couple of weeks, there's a reason why. It's because your roster is deficient. So I would go with Deontay Foreman. Although it's interesting between him and Isaiah Pacheco, those are two guys that I would look at that their match, like who's got the better matchup. I would play them. So, but at the same time, we're still good. He's fine. He's okay. The Ravens are a good defense still, even though they've given up a lot of points earlier in the year. I think that they're still credible, especially after acquiring Roquan Smith.
Yeah, it's tough that the trade deadline puts you right up against the Ravens game, because that's really going to put people in a position to be super negative on Deontay Foreman. If you're talking about the rest of the season, Alessandro, I think the rest of the season is going to be a whole lot better than what we're going to see Sunday against the Ravens, again, considering who the Carolina Panthers starting quarterback is right now. It is time for us to get to Don't At Me, Rank, because we have some thoughts about Week 12 in this NFL season. And if you have thoughts about those, consult somebody else, because you are not to at myself or Adam Rank about anything we're about to say. Rank, you're up first.
When I come out here and say that Geno Smith is going to be the top quarterback in Week 12, don't at me about it. Just start him.
They wrote me
pick
off.
him up.
Right back, though.
This has been what I've been telling people, because a lot of people dropped Geno Smith over the bye week after kind of a disaster over in Munich. He did not play very well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over there. Here's what's going on. He's going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I know the Las Vegas Raiders just shut down Russell Wilson. But that's a team run by, first of all, it's Russell Wilson. Second of all, it's a team helmed by Nathaniel Hackett. I will tell you this, and this is another thing to don't at me about, is you don't give enough deference and respect to Pete Carroll and what he's been able to do with the quarterback position over the entirety of his career. He's the guy who led Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart to back-to-back Heismans. And you're like, well, what about Norm Chow? Like, well, okay, Norm Chow wasn't there when Mark Sanchez became a top 5 pick, when Matt Barkley looked pretty good. And, of course, Norm Chow wasn't there when Russell Wilson was winning Super Bowls with the Seattle Seahawks, leading them to Super Bowls. And then at the same time, what's Russell done without Pete Carroll? So I think that we need to give Pete Carroll a little bit of love. And so I'm starting Geno Smith. If you need a quarterback, if you started Russell Wilson this past week, you're like, oh, he's going up against the Raiders, which I would have said the process was correct. And you're like, oh, it's Russell. Let's go with Geno this week.
Yeah, the Raiders, it's really bad. It's really bad right now considering what they've done on defense. And if you're pointing to last week, the Broncos are kind of like that self-check guy when you're playing pickup ball and he gets the ball on the wing and everybody's like, it's okay. And then he misses. Yeah, that's the Broncos right now. I am requesting that you, not requesting, demanding that you do not at me. Because DeAndre Swift's going to have 20 points. And it's like, oh, I know. He hasn't been playing good. Dan Campbell's not throwing him the ball, not handing him the ball. The Buffalo Bills are going to key on Jamal Williams. And DeAndre Swift is going to run out into the flat and catch passes like this. Catch passes like he's caught from Jared Goff his entire career. Nick Chubb had the 3rd best receiving game of his career last week in Buffalo. Dan Campbell should be tried. He should be tried if DeAndre Swift doesn't have 6 catches against the Buffalo Bills. Don't at me. Happy Thanksgiving, DeAndre Swift managers. That's how it's going to be.
I love that. He should be tried.
Yeah.
Egregiousness.
By a fantasy court. Not like the court of his peers. In America's criminal legal system, results may vary there, but a fantasy court, where we're going to have to get done with the Arthur Smith trial first. Yes, but after that, maybe we'll get to you, Coach Campbell. Maybe I won't be the judge. We'll all be the judge. No. Hey, fantasy Q&A is going to be back on Friday. You want to watch the show?
Not with us though.
Yeah, it's not going to be with us, but. If you want to find us, Marcus Grant and Michael F. Florio, they have the Fantasy Football Show. It's an incredible podcast. We're in their podcast feed. You can find us on the .com, also on the YouTube channel. So many areas to be a part of the show. And always just tweet at us. Hit us up, because Rank and I love doing this show. If you love engaging with the show, send us a tweet. We'll talk about it.
Not about Geno and DeAndre Swift, but other topics are fine.
Yeah, we'll engage everything. We'll stalk your Instagram.
We'll talk about you too. Not you as well, but I mean the band U2.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they always have these songs like they're very like, hey, what's the song where they keep singing Gloria? You're like, that's Gloria. All their songs are like that except for One Tree Hill, where they only say it once, but it sounds like their song should be, it runs like a river. I don't know. That just don't at me on that one.
U2 one time, us one time this week. For Adam Rank, I'm Patrick Claybon. You guys enjoy the show Friday.